Tuesday, I'm hoping to put out just kind of a quick word of encouragement. And so today, just what I'm going to talk about is probably what has been one of the most constant themes throughout my life in the past few years. In 2013, my dad died, and I think it was a few years later that I heard this quote, and it's actually a quote that was said originally by Friedrich Nietzsche, but the quote is, "It is only where there are graves that there can be resurrection." And I think that's such a beautiful sentiment. And ironically, Nietzsche was kind of mocking Christianity in a way when he said it, but the 20th century theologian Karl Barth took that quote and kind of repurposed it because it is such a beautiful Christian sentiment, actually. You see, the Christian hope recognizes the stark and bleak reality that we inhabit and the stark and bleak reality that we live in. And there's something beautiful about that. That the Christian hope doesn't mean that everything has to be glossed over or all shiny and all perfect, but the Christian hope is first marked by a grave. And yes, there for me, especially after my dad died, there's just this sense of end time hope, of the reconciliation of all things and end time resurrection. But I also think that there's some beautiful, I think this pattern beautifully plays out in life too, right? If you look back on your life, I'm only 25, about to be 26, and even my 26 short years, it's the moments of pain, it's the moments of suffering, it's the moments of the confusion and chaos and pain, so often in which God has been most at work, right? So my favorite semester of college actually was the spring semester of my sophomore year, which is actually the semester after my dad died. There's something about the chaos, there's something about the confusion, there's something about the transition, there's something about the sense of longing, the sense of loneliness, the sense of confusion that I was going through, that brought me closer to God. And I think God could be doing that right now in each of our lives. I think God could be doing wonderful and amazing things in the midst of the confusing loneliness of COVID-19 and social distancing. I mean, think about all the things that God could be doing right now in your life. Think about the scripture you could be reading. Think about the people whom you could be praying for. Think about the people you could call and text. Think about all the ways that God could be working and all the ways He's inviting you to participate in it. God could be doing amazing and wonderful things. But there will say that, is kind of as I close out this thought, this is also a dangerous time. I've experienced so much anxiety over the past few days. I have this, I'm a control freak, and I think we all are, at least on some level. And so I've just felt very out of control of things recently. And that it just produces an anxiety in me. And that in the midst of this opportunity for God to work is a foothold for the devil, is a foothold for him to thwart God's work in my life and invite me to reject God's work in my life and the world around me. And so my encouragement to you today is that God is doing great things. I really think God could be doing great things in your life right now. Even in the midst of this suffering, even in the midst of this confusion, even in the midst of this chaos, even in the midst of this pain, even in the midst of this loneliness, I think God could be doing great things. So my word of encouragement is, don't let the devil get a foothold in your life now. Don't let him thwart what God is doing. Don't let him make you anxious. Don't let him make you fearful. But allow God to make you bold.